What's up, guys? Welcome to Battle Chat, episode number I don't remember. Today, the first time I'm having two guests on my podcast. Both my teammates, we punch each other for a living. We all get better by it. One of them is Sai,
Hi.
and another one of them is also Sai.
Hi guys.
So, the female voice was Sai Akshaya, and the male voice was Sai Vishnu. Um, so
We are not anyway related, by the way. Just happen to be.
Having the same name.
So today we'll be talking about whatever comes to my mind. To be honest, I haven't decided anything. We were talking about this from last Monday. That let's decide a topic. We couldn't come up with anything, so I'm like, whatever happens, happens. So I wanted to know about these depression, mental disorder, all that type of stuff, like why these adult people go through it. Even though I'm a adult on a certificate, I don't think I've truly become one. So let me ask some real adults what this depression and all this stuff is, and they'll give their take, and then later I'll give mine.
Okay, so like, what is your definition of depression, bro?
Oh, so I have actually read psychology, so I know what real depression is. Those people who are actually depressed, they can't even get out of their bed. They,
Why do you think they get to that point?
some kind of shock.
Childhood experience or trauma that they haven't clearly, cleared out or something like
I
that.
think they just get into a shock mode. They don't expect something, and then that bad thing happens, and they go into that deep state. I think that's why it
It's
happens.
not their fault though, right? We all have those traumas. To be honest, I have like plenty of them, and then
Yeah, I also have trauma. Like when I was in second standard, one uncle pushed me in a swimming pool, and then since then I'm feared of water till now. But doesn't mean every time I see water, I sleep on my bed and like I don't want to see water no more. It's not like that.
Yeah, that's not like that because you have handled it better, maybe. So some people, they don't. They actually don't know that they are depressed. They just think they are not, and then they do all those other stuff. And then when the real stuff comes, like when you have to face, like you face the swimming pool, right? So you know that you handled it very well. So you don't you are not depressed. But then like for me, I have this trauma that I told, no. So I haven't faced it when it happened again. That's when I realized I was depressed about like those things. I haven't handled it. I'll tell you the thing what happened.
What do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, until a couple of months back, I used to think depression or anxiety and this whole thing was
No cuss.
just some Gen Z snowflake stuff. Am I
Yeah.
allowed to cuss on the podcast?
No,
I'm
no,
not, right?
no.
I'm not. Okay,
My
guys.
parents listen to this.
Okay, so I'll try not to cuss.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to look at depression or mental health problems in a very black and white way.
Mm.
But recently I realized it's not that black and white.
Mm.
And whenever I used to hear people say that mental health is important, you have to take care of your mental health, or you have to make mental health a priority, I always used to think, what's all this?
Yeah.
We're Indians, right?
Yeah.
We're brown skin guys.
Yeah.
Like, we grow up with trauma. What's this mental health thing? I used to be like that, but like after I changed my perspective about mental health and I widened my perspective rather than just looking at it in very narrow manner.
Mm.
I used to think either you're fine, you're
Mm.
good, nothing's wrong with you, you're a complete snowflake if you're saying you have mental health problems and you look normal to me. Otherwise, you have serious issues like schizophrenia or like chronic deep depression which runs in your DNA and genes, which is honestly rare.
Yeah.
I used to think that, but recently I've started realizing that when they say you have to take care of your mental health or I'm facing mental health problems, it's not having chronic or serious depressive mental disorders or multiple personality thing like they show in this Onion movie. It's not that. It's not that. Like, I think living inside your head is a big mental health problem, and there's a lot of biological things that go inside
What do
you.
you mean by living inside your head? Like, can you just give a definition for it.
Elaborate.
By living inside your head, I mean, so okay, we're gonna go on a different topic now. Go off topic. We're gonna go on a tangent right now. Fundamentally, we're all just organisms, like just cells and matter moving around. But then, when you really think about who you are, or what your place is in this universe, or I am going through this, or I am facing this, I am happy, I am depressed, or I am sad, they're just emotions, they're just like chemical reactions going in your body.
Correct.
You know, your brain being bombarded with neurons and biochemistry going on in your brain. But when you have this feeling of I or you, that's your ego, you connect your emotions with that, that's when you start living inside your head. But to be honest, like, I'm not allowed to cuss, so I don't know how to put this.
Just be, but
So, see, the thing is, the main thing I mean by living inside your head is you're too concerned about your problems and too egoistic and selfish that you don't appreciate the things around you. And by appreciate, again, I mean you go into this mode where I am supposed to appreciate things. It's not that, it's just being present, just, taking things as they come and go. But when you start identifying things with your ego, if you're feeling happy, oh, I am feeling happy because I did a certain thing. It's just your biochemistry which is, making your body release something and you get a sensation. That is what you call happiness. And suppose you did something bad, but it made you happy. Then you're like, I did this thing, this made me happy, so therefore this is me. But to be honest, everybody needs an ego to, live in this world. We live in a very complex
To a
world.
certain level, actually.
Yeah.
So you were saying, right? What happened?
nothing,
Sorry.
something.
So you were saying, all these biochemical things that were happening, okay? So I think, I have this idea that that's what makes us us. So if we all think the same way, do it in as if program something, so it doesn't there's
Differentiate.
uncertainty, right? That's what differentiate you from me, not just physically but also emotionally. We are all different, we do things differently. That's all because of emotions, right? To a certain level. So you were saying, are you saying we shouldn't have ego at all, or we should have?
Oh, no. See, here's another thing. I was talking about ego with respect to mental health problems. But I'll tell you what, just take a look around you. Take a look around this room, this fan, this table, or this house. Everything was created because somebody had an ego. Somebody woke up one day and they decided that, no, we can do better than this and I can do this. The civilization was created because of the ego. The ego does great things for you. But at the same time, when we talk about mental health, it is important to notice that everything is not about you. And you're not the main character in somebody else's life.
True.
So getting depressed because of that. No, I'm not saying ego is a bad thing. Ego is a wonderful thing. Even us as fighters, if you think about it, we can't do
Yeah, we need
anything
to have
without an ego.
giant egos.
You need, fighters are.
No one
Fighters
to
have the biggest egos
I would
on
say, yeah, I
planet.
would agree, definitely, 100%.
Fighters should have the biggest egos.
But then
on the
again, it
planet.
plays them a downfall when they get
Yeah.
beaten up really bad, and then they're like, how can I get beaten
that's
up?
the thing. That's the thing what I'm getting at. So fighters have big ego because they're confident in their ability, and almost to a superficial level.
Yeah.
If a fighter's going in, for example, if I'm going in to the ring, and I know the other guy is a killer, I'm not gonna think about that. It's not gonna help me. I'm still gonna think I'm gonna beat this guy. So even to a superficial level, you have to be.
I would say
confident.
even fighters are little delusional.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. All that helps you.
Yeah,
but
helps you.
Helps you
If you win.
if you win.
I would helps you to win, but then if something goes wrong, you slip on a banana peeling if you fall.
Yeah,
And
you fall into the rabbit hole if you lose. But yeah, apart from fighters in life in general,
I would say the people who do something adventurous, right? Any sport, anything that gives them that adrenaline pump. Everybody needs to have a gigantic ego just to get in that kind of zone.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. You need the ego to believe that you can be something more than what you are right now. But if you really think about it, when you're in the ring and when you're fighting absolutely in that flow state, there's no ego.
There's no ego.
Whenever you're truly enjoying something, or whenever you're truly like, wow, this feels amazing. You're not thinking it feels amazing, but it
But
feels
you know,
amazing.
yeah.
There's no ego over
When I
it.
used to kick the guy with the specs, no names taken, and
It's so yeah. The ego is obviously an important part for every person to succeed in life. But where I'm getting at it with this whole ego conversation is that don't take ego in the conventional sense. When I say ego, like, oh, he's got a big ego.
Yeah,
like,
no,
he's
not that one, yeah.
No, not that. When I say ego, what is the ego essentially? The ego is your idea of yourself. That is your ego. So when you take your idea of yourself way too seriously, it can help you, but at the same time, it is equally susceptible to make you upset.
Yeah, it's
if you-
everything, right? Everything has two sides,
Yeah.
50-50. It can help you, and then it can
It can
do
break you
bad
too.
things to you, including, I think, fighting. Fighting
Yeah.
can make you a really confident person. At the same time, if it backfires you, you will be a really bad person. We see that in some fighters, no names taken again, but they get arrested here and there, do bad stuff. Doesn't mean they're bad people, but fighting made them bad people. So yeah, my thing on that depression and all that mental issues is the society that we live in today is, right, everybody is seeking attention, every single person. With if something bad happens in your life, you want everybody to know that something bad has happened in my life, and you want them to console you. You're like, hey, what has happened? And then you want to be like, let's say you really failed an exam. Okay, no big deal. We have a giant universe, we have multi universes. Nobody cares that you failed an exam. Probably you also don't care that you failed the exam for 2 days, and then you're fine. But if you fail an exam, the person who seeks attention, what the person does is he puts status in his WhatsApp and his Instagram.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel you.
Yeah. And then they expect the people who knew that he had exam to console him, like, hey, what happened? You're like, yeah, nothing, man. Like,
Interact with
yeah.
them.
No, tell me what happened. Hey, nothing, man. And they want this kind of conversation. I think that's why they fake create depression. And belief is a very strong thing. I always say this. And they really believe that they are depressed. And that actually brings them to depression. When they are fine. If we notice, even the guys who are depressed, right, there's nothing to be depressed about it.
No,
If you
it's
look
like,
at.
to be honest, like, depression is not like a big thing and all. It's like being sad for an extended time.
Oh,
That's
real
what I
depression-
think about
okay.
a depression. But then I think.
Yeah,
there's
since
really
I've studied
different-
it,
yeah.
I know what real depression is.
Sure,
I haven't
maybe.
seen anybody experience it,
Huh.
but like I used to talk to my psychology ma'am.
Huh.
She used to tell me she has seen depressed clients.
So
It's
I've-
miserable.
I've been thinking depression in a different way. I've been thinking like, okay, it's like being sad for a
Being
long
sad
time
is a-
about a thing like that. I was thinking like
no,
that.
no, depression is it's almost like a
Damn.
disease.
Depression is.
I just take my words back. I'm not depressed. I just didn't know how to handle some stuff. That's all.
Uh,
Like real depression is crippling.
I would say even the real depression, if you really think of it in a big way, first off, you're lying on a bed, which shows you have the money to afford a bed. You can sleep on it. Second off, you're lying on the bed for the whole day, which shows that you have enough money that you don't have to work for the whole day. If you have these 2-3 things, you have food on the table, you should be grateful about it.
Yeah, that's.
Of course, it's easier said than done, but
that's what I want to talk about.
in-
Yeah, so if you think about it, you want to say something? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. So if something bad happens, something sad happens, again, we all have similar, like if something, 50 things good happen in your life, know that 50 things bad are also going to happen. It's part of it. There's sometimes good things happen first, then bad things, sometimes it's a mix, all that type of stuff. But 50-50, that is the whole thing. It's going to happen. But the point is,
Hey,
when.
I'm sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
I heard this interesting story. So there's this school of thought called Stoicism. It's by the Greeks.
Yeah.
So they're like really calm people who used to preach philosophy on how to handle life. So there's this good paragraph on good things and bad things. So a farmer's son breaks his leg while trying to calm the horse. So the whole village will be like, oh, he broke his leg, it's a bad thing. But the father will be like, who knows, maybe it's a good thing. And the next day, the army comes in to recruit young people for the war. His leg is broken, so he's crippled, so he can't go to the war. So like,
It's a
it's flip side of the coin.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't say something is good.
exactly.
Something
Oh,
is
that's a
bad.
good point. No, no. What I meant
Oh,
is.
it's about how we see things.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly, exactly. That is correct. But then it takes time to realize whether it is good or not.
Yeah.
It
Oh no,
to-
that's not my point.
No. I get your point.
There are
I'm-
no good things and bad things. It's all good.
Yeah, it's how we see it.
Everything's about perspective.
Hmm.
There are just things.
mm,
Good and bad are just constructs
Correct.
inside your mind,
Correct.
inside society or civilization.
okay, makes all the sense in the world. But again, like, let us assume that in a normal mindset we do have a good and bad things. But I don't think we should we should never stick to something, whether it is good or bad. If somebody does something great, they get high, not on weed, but they get high on that. They
You're
get,
not allowed to cuss what you say. I would say all
you
the
can say
same words.
weed, it's not cussing, but they're high about it. If you ever experience a win in any sport, or not just a win, anything, if you achieve something really good, no, for 2 3 4 5 days you're top of the world, you're on top of the world. I don't think we should go in that place itself, because if something goes up, it will fall down.
See, what I feel about that is, I'll tell you another thing. This can be related to mental health. You know what a dominance hierarchy is?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what a dominance
yeah.
hierarchy is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, a dominance hierarchy is, let's take a particular element of life. Let's say our fight club. We have a dominance hierarchy in our fight club. You know, we have the best fighter, we have the coach on top of that, and then we have casual clients or people who don't do well in the fight club. That is the dominance hierarchy. If you think about it, when we're don't worry about life outside the club. When we're inside the club, the best fighter usually feels great inside the club, right? So in that dominance hierarchy, you're at the top. And I'll tell you what, this is not like a constructed thing or telling that you'll feel good if you're good at something. Dominance hierarchies are older than trees, like evolutionary wise. You know, dominance hierarchies are older than trees. Even trees have dominance hierarchies. Animals have dominance hierarchies. They, they call the alpha dog or the alpha gorilla,
Yeah, yeah.
right? They are dominance hierarchies. You know, the one on top feels great. You know, it's always having his chest
up.
pumped out.
Correct.
And on the streets, if you see the alpha dog, always its ears are pointed upwards. It walks with a lot of pride. But some dogs, you see them, their shoulders are drooped. So
Poor-
same
poor
with the
dogs,
humans.
yeah.
Same with the humans. But human life is more complex than animal life. You
Sure.
know, for animals it's just
Survival.
animalistic instincts and survival. But humans, see, this is the thing about interesting thing about humans when the consciousness developed, right, during the cognitive revolution in the evolutionary scale. So the interesting thing about humans is we are just like animals, but we have the capacity to conceive an idea and create imaginary constructs around it, but bring it into reality and make it real. It's only in our mind, but it's real. If you think about it, like let's take a football game. Who says that you can only kick the ball inside the two posts and then it's a goal? We say that and then we stick to those rules and we make it a reality, but the experiences we have when we are playing the game inside those agreed upon imaginary rules is real. So that's what humans do. So dominance hierarchy for humans is different, like school or a fight club or on a football field or when you're working in a corporate company or government jobs. So if you think about it, let's say you have seven, eight elements of where you have dominance hierarchies in your life. I think if you can dominate 3, 4 of them, prioritize them, be good at that, that really elevates your mental health.
I agree halfway. I would say you can't get good at something just because you want to get good at something. You might be you're giving your all. I think that's all matters, because it's not in your hands to do something great. You can only try.
No, I'm not talking about greatness.
No. You said like you need to be in the 3-4 things in your life. You need to be pretty good at them, right?
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't say you need to be pretty good at them. I would say you just need to try them and give it your all.
Yeah,
I think that's
okay.
all matters.
No, I'm not saying you have to be good at them to be happy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these dominance hierarchies and being, in the middle or the top, it has its own consequences. Being at the top, you don't have time for other things in your life.
Correct,
You don't
correct.
experience
Yeah,
life that much.
yeah.
If you see these really big CEOs or people who are in very high positions,
High
they don't
positions.
have time for
Yeah,
family and all
yeah,
that. I'm not
yeah.
saying you should be great at that to be happy. That's just like
Illusion.
very materialistic.
Yeah, very materialistic.
So yeah, getting back to what changed recently for me about mental health is that it's not so black and white. It's not like chronic diseases, really bad diseases. Really, real depression can be crippling. You know why? It's not just inside your mind. I'll tell you what. So, what is depression? Depression is just negative thoughts on a consistent basis for a long time.
Negative thoughts about what?
Anything.
Negative
about
thoughts in general.
ourselves or something.
Pick it up.
Hello, Ma?
Yeah, so what are negative thoughts? Like Sai was asking, any thought which evokes a uncomfortable feeling inside your body, not necessarily even an uncomfortable feeling. You know what your negative thoughts are, right? They can be subjective. For example, like a fat person having thoughts about their weight is negative to them, but me having thoughts about my weight is not negative to me. It's subjective. So it's depends from person to person. That's a negative thought which basically makes you insecure and evokes some kind of uncomfortable feeling in your body. But here's something which I also believe. I don't believe in depression. I believe that people can feel depressed. They can't be in depression, but over a long period of time they get caught in that cycle. When you feel depressed or when
Why
you're
do
getting
you think why do you think they just get caught into that cycle? Like, is it because?
Oh, that is what I was talking about. Living inside your own head.
Okay, so like.
If you have too
It's
big
all
of
about-
ego on yourself, you'll be like,
So getting caught in
I
a cycle.
got sad. This happened to me.
Yeah.
Why this should happen to me? Because I am the hero of my universe.
True.
If I die, the world ends. That kind of ego these people have,
Okay,
including
okay.
myself. But I'm just saying, I am.
Yeah, you are the,
The
hero
whole-
in your life.
Yeah,
right?
this
So,
world is made for
not,
me. The reason these things are happening are for me. The reason that tree is standing is to give me oxygen.
Okay, that's different.
That kind of. Everybody has that.
A
You just
certain
don't let
level.
it come out. Because society has taught you to suppress everything.
Yeah.
From your childhood, society has taught you.
Here's another interesting thing. Apart from mental health,
Huh.
this is like society teaches you that you have to be really docile, considerate of everything. Aggression is a bad thing.
Be nice.
And they have to say, you have to be a good person. And oftentimes we mistake being a good person, a virtuous person, with being docile and weak. I'll tell you
Correct.
what a good person is. A good person is an individual who's capable of extreme violence and who's extremely aggressive and an extremely dangerous individual. who has it under voluntary control.
That's the main
That is a
point.
good
That's the
person.
whole person.
Yes.
That's the whole
A
point.
good person can kill your ass,
Yeah.
but he has it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
He can kill you if he wants to, but he doesn't because he's a good person, because he holds virtue. If a weak person is like, oh no, I'm not killing you because he can't kill me.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you
You're not
gonna
gonna kill me because he can't. That
Exactly.
doesn't make you a good person.
Ah.
That just makes you a weak person.
Weak person.
A good person is a person who has power but doesn't abuse it and has it under voluntary control. So, yeah, sorry for
That's
that.
why I pull my punches back in sparring.
You do that for me? Yeah.
I do for everybody.
can see that.
If I land a good shot on you, it's okay. Why should I
Intentionally.
do 10 more punches
Or
just to
use just
satisfy
because-
my ego
Yeah.
that I hurt somebody? It's okay. I land a shot, I land a shot. You can land a shot too.
When we're sparring, it's about, learning. When we spar with
Yeah.
Tanishka or something, just, no
it's okay,
names.
it's okay. It's okay. She's gonna hear it anyways. No, we can't blur it. It's okay, sir.
Okay, so yeah, anyways, apart from that,
When she was new,
Even you guys, you do it for me and Tanishka, both of us, right? I've seen you. You guys go very hard, but then you go light because
no, me
Oh,
and
no.
Vishnu never go hard.
We-
We always anticipate.
feel each other.
Yeah,
out,
we are.
don't
Me
go
and Vishnu,
hard.
I think we engage the least because we are fainting.
Me and Srinath used to be that engaging the
Engaged,
least. But
okay.
it's been a while, it's been a minute since I sparred with him, bro. Just sparring with him. Yeah.
He's a tough dude. Bro.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
comes in your face, hook to the body, hook to the face.
Thing is, yeah. Not on the podcast. Other clubs might hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, getting back on track.
No, leave it. Let's talk about this. So we're talking about society,
Yeah.
how it is repressing your things. From childhood, we have been taught to be good, be nice, do this, do that. But I would say we all have that dark side inside us, which wants to do bad things. I do. I know. I know you do. I know you do. As persons, we all do. Everybody
Certain.
does. I would say to a better extent than we have the good side.
Yeah.
But since we repress it, and what repress is like a rubber band, you pull it like this and you throw it only, not like a rubber band. What is that thing
that
called?
ball we press it inside.
What is that
water
thing called,
bottle,
bro? It's like a V
See,
shape.
Wait, I'll give you an
wait.
example for that.
It's like
Yeah, let's-
she's saying
Like
something.
in a bucket of water, when you press a ball inside, deep, then you
Superb,
hold
superb.
it, then
Ah.
you take the hand of
Yeah, it should be a plastic ball though. If it's a leather ball, it'll just sink down.
Yeah.
I know what it's called in Marathi. I don't know what's it called
Yeah,
in
the
English.
catapult.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
that?
This thing, it looks like a V. It has a
Ah,
rubber.
Catapult.
That's how repression works. If you keep repressing it, there will be a point when it just break and then you'll be a different person. That's why when we have you experienced this? I don't know if you have, but if you meet a friend after like 5, 6, 10 years, right, and you see some people they're just the same people. They don't change a bit.
Yeah, they change.
Some people they're new people. We don't know anything. Like you used to be so different in childhood. It can be positive and negative. Somebody might be so weak and like all the time, and then when you meet them after 10 years, they're the alpha. They are the man. Some people are the exact opposite. They used to be the bullies in school. Nobody could touch them. After 10 years, they're like the weakest person ever.
Yeah.
That's how that repression thing works.
And I think
And it works very well in competition. The great athletes, the great players, they know when to pull that trigger. The people who don't know how to pull it back, they get caught in the cycle and they become a quote unquote bad
pull
person.
what back their negative emotions.
Yeah, so let's say you are in a tell me a competitive sport other than boxing or
Individual or team?
anything, it can be
Football.
In football, you have to be a bad person. You cannot be a good person. And
Especially if you're a defender.
Huh.
You have to be ready to break legs.
Exactly.
At the top level. You can't feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Like,
So feeling sorry is what society teaches us. But when we are in that dark state, if we by chance break somebody's legs, there will be a smirk on the face.
I know it, bro. I know it.
And if you look at it after a couple of hours, the game when you're all done, and you're like, damn, that was not me, was it? You feel that way. Sometimes, again, no taking names, but sometimes when I'm sparring and I land a solid low kick or a solid hook to the body, I'm like,
You got
this is
it.
awesome. This is awesome. I love this. Afterwards, I'm like, no. Why did I like it? This is literally my friend and I'm hurting him. I liked it. But that's when the dark side is trying to come out of you. It's like,
Even here's another interesting thing.
Like, you remember the other day we were sparring and I caught you, and then immediately I felt sorry. I'm like, no, 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 no.
or the kickboxing.
The
sparring.
kickboxing sparring. Immediately, because
Yeah.
I was in my
Normal state.
normal state that time. But when I'm with somebody, some people.
I think it happens to all of us. Even like when I land nice punches, no, on people. So I do it with girls. No, I even with you, but then I don't feel it. You said like I gave a nice right hook, but then I couldn't feel it. But then with girls mostly, I feel like I give them nicely. Okay. So at times with Tanshka, when she keep punching me and all, I couldn't miss. If I get a good one, I feel sorry for it because she'll be like going back. So I'll be like, okay, sorry. But then for a second you said no, I would also feel good about it. There'll be this push. Okay,
But
she hit
I
me.
am
I
not
have
saying
to hit her.
I am not
So-
saying we feel good that our punch landed. That's a good. Our punch landing,
No,
is-
that's why you're yeah.
if we land, let's say we planned a combo in our head. It's 1, 2, 3. It's a jab, cross, and right hook or left hook, whatever it is. We plan that combo. We landed. We feel good about ourselves. I'm saying we feel good about we are hurting them.
Yeah.
If I caught somebody with a right hook and he goes in a flash, I don't feel good that my right hook landed. I feel good that he's hurt. That's the dark state I'm talking about.
So this isn't dark. Like you get punched in the face and then you want to hit it back. Like
No, this
knowing
is-
that like you just have to give 75, but then you got like a lot of punches and then you want to give it 100 and you give it 100.
No, that is not. I would say that is more like a angry competitive side.
So that's not dark.
No, that's not dark.
Okay.
Dark is.
Dark is
Let me
dark.
put it in a different way. Did you play any sport growing up other than?
Swimming.
Nah, swimming. I'm sure swimming must be dark in some way.
Football, bro.
Uh,
So, let's say you're a defender, and usually midfielders or left wingers, right wingers, attackers, they dribble well, and they dribble past you, and you're embarrassed. Like they dribble past you in an embarrassing way. You want to hurt them. Like sometimes when a person gets past you in football all the time, if the defender is especially in an embarrassing situation, there are two situations where a person gets past you and it's a critical situation. You have to stop him there or it's going to result in a goal. But there's this other situation where you're embarrassed and you need to stop him because you're embarrassed. You have to hurt him. You have to, you need to show him you're not getting past me. Even if you dribble past me, I'm going to stop you in another way.
No, that's
I
that's
don't
the
care about
competitive
the
side,
foul.
right? That's the
Oh,
competitive
no,
side.
that's what I'm talking. Boxing, just like you said, if you land the combo that you planned, you feel good that okay, this is the game plan. this
It's
is right.
working.
The same way, if somebody gets past you and you have to foul them because it might result in a goal, that's a game plan. You're taking one for the team, great. But you foul them because you're embarrassed when they dribble past you. That's the thing you were talking about. You feel good about, feeling like I hurt you.
I would say that suppose the guy who is dribbling the ball and the defender, if he embarrasses the defender and then he goes and does the goal, he feels good that not that I goaled. He feels good that I embarrassed this guy.
All the time, all the time, all the time.
Look at you have these thoughts in your mind. Look at your face, man. You couldn't stop my goal, did you? And all that type of stuff.
That's not even dark. Like
That's taking it personally, right?
Not.
I wouldn't say he would feel that after 2 hours of the game. He would
For
feel
an instant.
just for the moment.
I mean, like even darker thoughts. Like in life, let's say somebody hurts your loved one. I mean, I'm gonna say it. Let's openly talk about it. You want to slit their throat or cut their guts out and rip them out. Those are really dark thoughts. Yeah, you
Cut their
have.
guts out.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
I
You
know.
have those really
Yeah.
violent thoughts when you can't. They're not accepted in society or whatever. But you have those thoughts. And here's an interesting thing.
YouTube, don't violate all this shit. What?
Not allowed to say all that.
No.
No, you are. Of course, you are.
Yeah, because if I don't want to traumatize any kids if they're listening to your podcast.
No kids listen to this thing. Only 5-6 members. Half of them are my family members only.
Yeah, so there's this really famous psychologist called Carl Jung.
Yeah.
So there's one of his main psychological foundings about the
Mm.
human psyche was the shadow. The
Mm.
shadow is
Yeah,
the dark
yeah,
side.
Yeah. I read about it.
So he tries to first he tries to figure out why we have the shadow, then how we're supposed to suppress it and everything. But in the end, he decides that you can't suppress the shadow. You can only integrate yourself with it. And integrating your shadow with yourself was what I was talking about. Good and bad. You have to be an extremely violent person, but you have to have it under control. Violence is a bad thing, right? Like
Not
not
really,
even
but yeah.
according to society. Let's say violence is a bad
It
thing.
doesn't
then-
result in anything good unless it really does.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
think
yeah.
about it. It's like
yeah.
war. War happens for peace. If
Yeah.
you think about it.
Oh no, war doesn't happen for peace.
No,
We'll
not
get to that in
today's
a
days.
second.
I'm talking about back in the day. When
Oh yeah, even back in the day.
You don't think
no,
so?
No, not absolutely not. Not for peace, bro. War happens because
I mean, listen. If there's this 10 rupee coin and two members saying that this is mine. Now, in order to get that coin, they have to sort it out, right? Whether it can be verbal, it can be physical.
But
So-
how's that?
No,
Peace,
either they'll be
yeah.
arguing the entire life, or they have to sort it out and live peacefully. Like, okay, finally it was his or it is mine.
It's like,
Like
do
that.
or die, that kind.
That kind, yeah.
Oh, you mean making peace in that way?
Yeah, making peace in that way. Oh, no, not the peace with the white underwear. Not that one.
No, but
That's called solving a problem, right? Like, no, that's not peace.
that's not peace, bro. Why, according to me, why wars happen is because
Two giant
one
egos.
person with an megalomaniac.
Okay, let's
level
be
of-
real. In every war, there is a good person and a bad person. Again, like these are perspectives, but in a general perspective, there is a good person and bad person. So,
Yeah, I agree.
uh,
Like one person is trying to invade your city,
and
have
you are
defend
trying
it.
to, yeah.
That's honor.
we are not referencing Ukraine and Russia. Okay, let's talk about Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, they fought for what? Kurukshetra.
Yeah.
They wanted the kingdom. Pandavas wanted their kingdom back, which Kauravas took it from them. But if we look in the perspective of Kauravas, let's say we are the Kauravas, what wrong did we do? Again, it also belongs to our ancestors, right? That's what I'm saying. So,
Oh yeah, see that's the thing. Mahabharata or Ramayana, it all boils down just to this good or bad thing. If you think about it, the Pandavas were also dangerous people.
yeah, very dangerous.
Rama was also a very dangerous person, but they had it under voluntary control, and that's why they're the heroes of the story. Ravana or the Kauravas, they were also extremely dangerous people.
I would say similarly danger to
Yeah,
these people.
exactly. Similarly dangerous, but they didn't have it under voluntary control. They let the power consume them. And
Very good point.
if you think about it,
And what happens when you do that is it takes something a little out of your soul.
yeah, there's this beautiful quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. He's a German philosopher. So he says, be careful not to become the monster you're fighting. And there's another quote, like, if you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss stares back into you. So that's why I think they're the heroes of the story, because they didn't become.
That person.
Yeah.
When you think about it really, to take an arrow, stretch it and rip it into somebody's and like take their head off, it's not something a good person would even try to do, would they? But you have to enter that state in order to do that. If you see back in the day, or no, yeah, only back in the day, correct, not today. But back in the day, before going to the war, they used to kill animals. Sacrifice animals. They used to call it sacrifice, quote unquote, but it wasn't sacrifice anything. Get into that zone. If you, let's say there's an ant here and you kill the ant, not for time pass, but you actually kill the ant, you get in that state instantly. You didn't have to sacrifice a bull or something, but like
Shadow
bull is that's a gigantic animal, right? Killing that with a sharp sword and just ripping his head off.
Yeah, I think. You think warriors always used to get into their alter egos before war, or
100%.
you think they were just like that all the time?
So the people who are like, I mean, there are people who just become that person. They don't have two egos no more. And that's a dangerous state to be in, right? But that's what I'm saying. That's what differentiates the great from the greatest. Or the good from the great and the great from the greatest. Is how much you can make it under control. The nicest people in the world are the most dangerous people in the world because they're suppressing it so much.
They have tamed it down.
Yeah,
Not
but-
tamed it down. They have it under
Handling
control.
it well.
Yeah, they just want to do something, but they like keep it under them. But when the time comes to do it productively, like in today's world, in a competitive world, MMA, boxing, kickboxing, sports, football, basketball, volleyball, anything contact sport, that's when it helps them. Some of the best fighters in the world are some of the nicest people in the
Yeah.
world. Nicest people. Charity, this, that.
Ngannou.
Yeah. Ngannou literally is like, the kid's storybook reader. He
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like that.
The big teddy bear
Yeah,
type
big
of
teddy
guy.
bear kind of person. He's a bad man in the octagon.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Bad
You
man.
don't want to get a hit jab with that man, especially our size guys. I'm sure he lifts two of us when he's bicep
no
curling.
Doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. Man used to work in sand mines or
Yeah. Sand mines.
shovel sand all day.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, so what were we talking about?
I don't know.
We started
we
with the
went
mental
on
health.
Random
Yeah.
tangents. So yeah. So my perspective on mental health, that's where we went on crazy tangents. So my thing on mental health is my take on mental health is more biological and biochemical than talking about the character of a person or their ego or the moralistic part of being depressed. You're not supposed
Tell
to
me one thing. You know the Tyson Fury story of how he got depressed after he won the title. What do you think that was? I mean, listen, he had all the money in the world. He could do anything he wanted. But why do you think he got depressed?
Because he lost meaning in life, and when you lose meaning in life, it is numbingly painful, and to suppress that and keep that inside you, you have to turn to frivolous pleasures. That's what he did, right? Drugs, women,
Alcohol.
blowing the money on stupid things.
Yeah.
They're all just
So
fleeting
tell me
pleasures.
one thing. If somebody who wants to avoid a mental depression in any way, sort or form, shouldn't they always have a goal in their life, no matter what happens?
I don't think they should always have a goal in their life. They should have a meaning for their life.
Yeah, but for 90% of the population, meaning for their life is to have a goal. I mean, feed their family or something like that. I mean, there are yogis whose meaning of the life is totally different, and I
that's
really
different.
appreciate it. But not everybody
Not
can
everybody
even
is
open
that.
their mind to think like that. It takes a special person.
Yeah.
But still, in general, you should have some kind of meaning, goal in.
person should have
I don't
meaning
think
in their life.
today's generation has anything to do with goals. 100%, man. I mean, you ask them what they want to do is they'll blabber what they've heard from their childhood. They really don't want to do it. I mean, there are some people who really want to be a doctor. Really, they want to help people. They want to learn about the biological side of things of how our body works. That's a good reason to be a doctor. That's why you should be a doctor. He'll become a great doctor, not a good doctor, a great doctor. Another guy who's becoming doctor because it pays him well,
Wants to wear stethoscope.
yeah, wants to look cool with a white suit on, that guy would become a decent doctor even, but he would never have that thing what the other guy has.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
No, I don't think so. Like, see, it's all like there's nothing wrong in it. If you think of this guy's way, like the first doctor, right, who really want to do it, like understands everything. There's nothing wrong in it too, in him too. So in the other guy who wants to show off or like that, there's nothing wrong in him too. So you see, like listen, like in the morning what Ajit bro said, like if you want to become an elite fighter. So you have to really do it good. If you wanna or like chumma post panno, if you guys wanna post and then for that you're doing, there's nothing bad in it too. He said that, right?
Yeah.
So like both the doctors, there's nothing,
No, it's all good.
not. So I think there's nothing wrong. Like every person, no, they have this idea of life. So if that doctor thinks like this is how you can't go and tell like this doctor is really gonna get it all, or this guy is not gonna get it all, like that. You can't say like if they are internally happy, if their idea is achieved, it's like it's a good for them.
That's
It's
what I wanted to tell. Like you said, one doctor really wants to be a doctor for this, for the love of biology. He'll be a great doctor. He'll have meaning in his life. But the other guy who wants to be a doctor, just look cool or something, he might have meaning in some other realm of his life, which gives him happiness, and this is just a job which makes him money.
Perfect, but you need to have that, right? A doctor who.
Oh yeah. That
Something you
comes
need to
from
have.
being-
I'm not saying everybody should make their thing in their job itself. It is impossible. You can't live in a society like that, because it's all about luck also. If you consider, let's say if somebody wants to be a really good sprinter and he's fantastic in it, he's absolutely marvelous. He slips on a banana peel and breaks his leg.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Or financial problems.
Financial problems.
Indian athletes all the time.
Yeah. Anything. But all I'm saying is you need to have something or the other for one say that gives you meaning, that gives you peace. Some old people, they just love going on evening walks. Doesn't matter, their profession should be walking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Like, let's talk about Tyson, not Fury, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
At one point of his time, so I was listening to this Hot Boxing by Mike Tyson podcast, and Tyson Fury was on the podcast. They talk about depression, and Tyson totally relates with him when Tyson Fury says that after I won the title, I lost all meaning in my life, because for over 10 years, that's all I wanted.
That's the only thing he was focusing on.
Same thing with Tyson. That's the only thing
And
he
the worst
wanted.
thing with Tyson was he didn't have Gus with him.
Oh yeah, to handle the whole thing. But fast forward to 20 years after Mike Tyson won the title, in one interview with some Fox channel or something, he has his belts on the table. And they ask him, what does this mean to you now? You've achieved all this. All his belts are on the table, like a couple of 5-6 belts. Every time he won a championship. He's like, he just lifts the belt, flips it off, and he's like, this is garbage. This means nothing to me.
It's garbage.
He's like, being a good father and being a good husband is everything
It's
to
all
me,
matter,
and my children's happiness is everything to me. So that's what gives them meaning at this point in life. Not fighting.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like once you go on. Tell me. Once you achieve something, anything, whether it is about your family or whether it is about a profession, you should immediately have the next goal so that you are on track. Imagine if Tyson was on track the entire time. Who would stop him, man?
Yeah.
Who would stop him? The only reason he was starting to lose fights is he didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
He already did it. What is like same thing like okay again Conor still has a chance to become a champion in my Conor.
Corner, right?
Yeah. But in my world, but let's face the reality is so tough competition likely won't happen. But when he got to there, he was unstoppable, right? Because that's the only, he was tunnel vision focused. He only wanted to do that. He got it once, then we honestly never saw the same person ever again. Because it's like from his age, if you see his interview when he's like 19, 20 years old, he's like, I want to be the UFC lightweight champion. Okay, once you did that, then what? There's no other goal, right?
Yeah.
Then I think if you achieve something, have like a immediate.
And that's the thing, right? When Conor achieved everything, and then he was set to fight Khabib. He was having his whiskey company going on,
Correct.
his August McGregor clothing brand going on, other business deals. We don't know what he was up to other than that. And then he was training for the fight. But if you look at a guy like Khabib, a championship or two don't mean anything to him. The values that his father inculcated into him give him meaning in life. You've seen the way he talks about his father.
Yeah.
So, of course, he was going to lose to Khabib. All he does is he's so dedicated to his family, dedicated to training, and dedicated to his craft.
Yeah.
Conor was not that when he was doing. So that's where you get your meaning from. Differs. I'm not saying Conor was totally materialistic.
No, but still, I get you what you're saying. Like, you have only 100%, and you can only give your time and effort into that. If you
Yeah.
have 100 rupees, you can
You
only
only
spend
have
100 rupees. You
24
cannot.
hours
Yeah,
in a day.
exactly.
You
So
only
let's
have
say Connor focused 70% on his training, 10% on his family, 10% in August McGregor, and 10% in proper tool. Whereas Habib might have spent 80% into training, 20% into family and other things.
Yeah.
So that 10% really makes a gigantic difference. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah. Only have 100%. You can only give so much. You cannot give
And
more than that.
have you heard about the Pareto principle?
No.
So you split your priorities in life into 80-20.
Mm.
You do the 20% of the most important tasks and things which mean the most to you. The other 80% you want to do fall into place on their own.
Mm. That is true. Anything?
Oh, you wanted to talk about the incident. We'll get back to mental health.
Yeah.
Like what incident? The one that I was
Yeah,
talking.
when you were struggling.
Okay.
If you want, you can say. If you want,
I
it's okay.
wanna, but then
You don't
Yeah.
want
I
to
don't want to
drop.
open it.
No,
yeah.
then it's okay. Then don't
Yeah.
say. Don't say.
Just on the surface, what do you think about mental health and what you learned from that situation?
Still learning it, so
People wear headphones, okay, because sometimes the phone is with me, sometimes it's him. You can't hear anything clearly. People wear headphones and listen to this thing. Yeah, talk.
yeah, I'm just thinking like it's processing. It's like a lot of information on it.
Yeah. So meanwhile, yes, the mental health thing. Recently, what I realized was it's not black and white at all.
Mm.
There's layers to it,
Mm.
and whenever you have negative thoughts, it's easy to get stuck in that cycle because you obviously identify with your thoughts,
Mm.
and over a period of time, you keep getting this bad feeling again and again and again. I'm not saying like it's justified. You get this bad feeling, so you're supposed to be depressed. You're obviously supposed to do something about it. But I'm saying it's not that black and white. It's not like completely easy. You have to be aware of it and you have to understand it. Like getting 20 minutes of sunlight in your day for a depressed person can make a whole lot of difference.
Oh.
But they don't do it
Mm.
because they're not aware of that.
I would say some people like to be depressed.
Oh yeah, that's
A different story
Yeah.
for another day. Actually.
those people are completely masochistic. Bro.
Because those people, not just depressed, also, some people like to be ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they get attention when
they
they are
get-
ill. And they love that attention. When they are fine, nobody cares about them. But when they are like not well, everybody is around them, surrounding. Hey, what happened? This, that, gives them the tablets. They love that attention.
And some people just like the fact that they are suffering masochism. You know?
Yeah. As if suffering is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, they
What
fetishize
do you
their
think
own-
is the solution to all this? Like a simple 2-word solution, 1-word
all
solution.
mental health
All
problems,
everything, yeah. Everything in the world.
like no matter what, get up.
What do you think?
Now I think like taking care of yourself, like eating well, sleeping well, that will actually
Oh, yeah.
improve.
Okay.
Taking care of yourself will improve your mental health. So that's
I
how
agree.
I
I would
think.
say having something in your vision. Don't keep a tunnel, but keep something close to a tunnel. Be open here and there, and follow a routine.
Oh yeah.
Once you're in a spiral of routine, no mental problem can do anything to you.
You're too busy.
Too busy. Do something. Play with the teddy bear. Make it a part of a routine. But you're too
Yeah.
busy. When you're free, my mom always say this: "Khali dimag shaitan ka ghar," which means empty head.
An idle mind is the
Head.
devil's workshop.
Correct.
An idle mind is the
Yeah,
devil's
yeah.
workshop.
My
Absolutely.
mom always says that. So she's like, don't stay free. Keep doing something, or you will do something which is not productive at all.
And yeah, the biological part of mental health, like Sai was saying,
Talk to a psychiatrist and finish it.
like Sai was saying, sleeping better, and like Raivot was saying, getting into a routine, eating well, exercising here and there. It
Exactly,
goes
you don't need to lift nothing, or you don't need to run or
just
something.
move.
Just walk.
Just move.
Your body is meant to move. Climb some trees. Play with kids.
Yeah.
Cricket, football, hockey. Who plays hockey? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anything.
we live in India, bro.
Nobody plays hockey.
Nobody
bro.
plays hockey though. So that goes a long way because how you feel is how you think,
Mm.
but it's vice versa too. How you think is how you feel.
Mm.
And in order to think well, you have to move your body and like I said, sunlight, sleep,
Mm.
and having a routine, especially having a routine.
Also, not to
Really?
let your personal life get connected in your personal, blah, blah, blah. Your professional life get connected in your personal life.
that's-
Like if you have a bad day at office, doesn't mean you should have a bad day. In,
Home.
yeah. So the other day, I think you and I only were talking about this. You remember the Hell Week?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, on the Friday we were not able to do some combo. Both of us were stuck in that
Yeah.
because we were mentally
Totally
drained
drained.
out. It's okay, we are not able to do it. If we asked to combo now, we could actually do it
Yeah.
right now. But so you were going too hard on yourself.
Oh, yeah,
You're taking
yeah,
it personally, and I'm like, his day is going to get ruined just because of this whole in the morning. But the thing is, once it is out of there, just leave it there. When you come back, then probably think of it. The thing is, I think if you are even listening to this podcast, you should be grateful because you have a phone or a device. You are good enough to do all this. You don't have to find reasons to get depressed.
Gratefulness.
Gratefulness is everything. I mean, even a guy on the street who can't afford a phone is always smiling and having fun with his family.
Oh no, I'll tell you something about that.
Yeah.
People in the poorest countries are the happiest people because people in the poorest countries are closer to their gender roles and are closer to their human tendencies.
Mm.
You take people in Africa,
Mm.
they have nothing, they don't have clothes, they don't have proper water or all this technology
We
around
have
them.
diamonds.
They don't have anything, but they're all happy because they live in a small tight knit tribe. They have children, they have a community, they have their wives, and they're a proper family, and they get by every day. They eat something, work, get by. So they move their bodies,
Yeah,
they're
this is-
physically active,
yeah.
they get by, they don't have a lot to worry about. All they have to worry about, and their status only consists of the close tribe.
Yeah.
And if you think about social media, human minds are not meant to deal with what 10,000 people think about them when you post something. We're not that advanced, we're not
yeah.
evolved that way. We're not that. So yeah, and routine. Waking up at the same time actually keeps you happier. Because when you sleep and wake up at the same time, there's something called your circadian rhythm. So it's your sleep cycle, your natural clock. Mari. When you wake up at different times randomly, it messes that up and it shows a drop in your mood. And when your mood is dropped, that's how you feel and that's how you think.
Yeah.
If something's bugging you and you're like, nah, when you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
after workout,
Yeah.
when the endorphins are rushing,
Mm.
you're like, nah, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But when your routine is not good and your mood is down, so that's the thing. How you think is how you feel, and how you feel is how you think. So, taking care of these things elevates your mood.
Coming back to the very good point you said, the endorphins. If you see how Tyson Fury cured himself is not by taking
Oh, yeah,
medicines.
yeah,
or
yeah,
he
totally.
just started running, he started lifting, he started boxing, was happy all over again.
Yeah.
He just wanted to do this. That's all it is. If you get into a routine, if you do something that you like, not as a profession, just something that you like, and you're doing it consistently, it doesn't matter if you're good at it or not, you're going to be fine.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
And apart from that, mental health being a biological thing, it's really all about perspective. You can't be.
If you think about it, there is this guy on the street who makes 15 no, that's really less. Who makes like 5,000 a month, and there's this guy on the big apartment who makes 5 lakhs a month. The apartment guy has everything in the world. He has food, he has water, he has fridge, he has AC, he's sleeping nice, he's doing
But
this.
the real question is having food and AC really having everything when you don't have meaning in your life?
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to. But the poor guy, he has a family, he has something to do. He's just a happy person. He doesn't need the money
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
He's not a materialistic person. You know what I'm saying, right? That
even if you're a materialistic person, it's not wrong.
No, it's not
But
wrong, it's not
having
wrong,
a
yeah.
family and having these things, it's more human. You're
Mm.
closer to your roots, which makes you naturally happy because that's how you evolved.
yeah.
And yeah, about the perspective. So you can't. One thing is you can't be such a huge moron to think that the world is all about you all the time, which makes you so depressed in the first place.
Mm.
You should step back, appreciate the things you have, and observe. Really, not just appreciate the things. Like we're sitting here, I'm observing your conversation, and you're observing mine. That's how we're having a conversation. If I'm like totally being dogmatic about my perspective, there's no scope for a conversation. Conversation is basically like without observation, there's no conversation, right? It's just one
Open-minded
person
observation.
barking.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
so you need to
Where are
you
the crows started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just see the interaction
Yeah.
close. You have to observe sometimes. You
Mm.
can't always be inside your head. You have to think when it really comes to thinking. When you're fighting or something like that, you have to think. You're doing that. You have to think. Otherwise, always living inside your head, it's
Not good for you.
Not good for you.
It's
because
taxing
it
also.
groups your it drains you
Uh.
basically. So it's a perspective thing too, and you have to understand that you're only in control of what you can control, and there is only very little in this world that you truly are in control of.
Mm.
Do you know
That's
that
probably yourself.
the elevator buttons? We press the button and the elevator comes. They're fake buttons. They don't actually work. Elevators go up and come down by their own. You know that?
No, I
They do that because people can wait for longer when they feel like they're in control. I press the button so it's gonna come
Oh,
down.
is it really like
Yeah,
that?
it's really like that. Have you seen it? Always from the ground floor, it goes to the third floor. அதுக்கப்புறமா தான் it comes back to the ground floor.
No, it doesn't, right?
No, I mean he's talking about the big apartment elevators,
Ah.
not the one that we use. I mean,
The mall elevators, you mean?
yeah.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the buttons you press inside, bro. If you want to go to the fourth floor, you'll go
No,
to the
I'm
fourth
not-
floor directly.
Ah.
But the button you press when you wait for the elevator,
You
up
know,
down button.
I'll tell you what, my elevator is an old one, so probably it doesn't have the technology of this. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
They do that to give you the
Feeling
illusion
that
of
I'm
control.
calling it down.
Experts, yeah, you can wait longer.
Wait longer.
Uncertainty drives you.
Actually, correct. The apartments who have more than 12 floors,
Yeah,
na,
yeah,
do have
yeah.
the one area. Yeah.
Even in malls,
Mm.
they always go down,
Down.
and then go up and come. They don't stop in middle, nadu,
Correct, correct.
But they give that to give you that sense of control. And you can only control like a very little part. You can't even control your biology completely. You can't control what goes on in your body completely, like 100%. You can't do that. You can't control your health. You don't know when you're gonna get hit by a bus or something.
Yeah.
You can't control what other people think. You
Mm.
can't control other people's actions. You can influence them. That's a different topic, but you can't control them.
Yeah.
What you can truly control are only your perspectives, your opinions about things, and
Your
thoughts.
actions.
Your actions and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Where does an action come from? It comes from a thought.
Thought.
So that's only
Mm.
thing you can control. And if you really think about it, there is no good thing, bad thing, or there's no positive thing, negative thing. There are only things, and then there's your opinion on those things. So that's what you can truly control.
And I would say is everybody.
So that makes a huge difference, right? When you guys were saying like this is wrong, that is wrong. So when the last point that you said, like there's no positive, negative. So like it breaks the whole thing that we were talking about.
What?
Like you just
No,
said
no. That's
that
what we said in
it's
the starting
wrong,
also.
It's not wrong.
We are talking in a general perspective, but when we zoom it out even more, it's nothing.
Oh no. Good and bad from a
See, good and bad still matters.
Yeah, moral
Because let's see, I
perspective
ate a good.
Moral
food-
perspective, man.
I ate a good dish. It is a good dish. In my opinion, it's a good dish. I ate a bad dish. In my opinion, it's a bad dish. He might love it.
Yeah.
For him, it's a good. But at the end of the day, it's just a dish.
It's just a dish.
Good
yeah.
and bad is my
Your
ego
opinion.
telling me, my opinion telling me this
Yeah.
is good, this is
But
bad.
moral things are different. Moral things don't have anything to do with how you feel. Moral things,
It's like a
they're
fact.
just that. You have to
Except them.
That's again it's the same thing. Morals are not good or bad. It's a moral. So it's like set in stone.
You like
It's a
it, you
moral.
like
Some
it.
lines you don't cross. Some principles you have to follow. You don't break. Otherwise they'll break you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my take on mental health.
Mm.
Control what you can control, have your perspectives, take care of yourself,
Yeah.
and like you said, be busy.
I would
have a
say
routine.
being happy is a choice.
Oh yeah, totally.
So if you want to be happy, you will be happy no matter what. Like where there's a will, there's a way.
You
All that
gotta
old saying
find
goes.
a way to be happy.
Yeah, you have. If you want to be happy, you will be happy no matter what. That's how I rest my case.
So, about mental health, how you can take care, like you said, like those living inside, and also it drains, no? Yeah, biologically speaking, it is so true. People think like doing only the physical work, no, that will drain energy, but then they don't know that like thinking a lot inside also takes a lot of energy. There's a lot of chemicals working. It takes glucose to make all these things happen, no? So you are right, biologically speaking. Like people don't know that. Yeah, that's why I'm like. Yeah, so all these chemicals working up, no, neurochemicals, so they take energy, and like it is very important that like most of them are not aware that like these things also drain energy and like take it from our body also. So yeah, that was a good one. And how I would say to take care is like just like go with the flow, don't think too much about like a situation, taking it like
not too much.
yeah, so that will actually make you distract you from like who you are, like who you want to be, and that will lead to this mental illness and whatever that we are talking about. So that's how I take care of your physical health. Don't think too much, just be happy.
McGregor said once, if you are physically in good shape, you are mentally in good shape.
exactly. They both go totally
Totally hand to hand.
There's no being mentally in a good place and
And
being
physically,
physically in a
yeah.
bad place.
True.
When some guy interviews him, he's like, being obsessed, don't you think it's a bad thing?
Mm.
He's like, I mean, do I look unhealthy?
Healthy, exactly.
So on the end, like let me tell you how to be happy also. I said like being happy will also make you, you know. So I feel like I'll be happy, like everybody will be happy if they make a goal and then they succeed it, right? So if you're doing a work, how that success, to be honest, like how it is defined as like if you're doing a work and you know why you're doing it, so that is success. Like when you know, if I'm getting up early in the morning, I know why I'm doing it. I know why I'm learning all those things. Even if I go win a gold or like I fail so badly, but I'm doing that, no, the process, that itself is a success, and that will make me happy. So in the end, like it will make our mental health, improve.
Anything to end? Rest your case.
I mean, yeah, all I want to say is it's not that black and white. You know, being totally depressed is a different thing, and like being depressed for is a different thing, but being sad for a long time also.
Not about all the things, about a specific things that like I wouldn't. Now I'm just talking to you guys, and I'm just starting to feel like you have to, learn to how to overcome those things. I just spoke to Master about it, so he said like go do meditate, journal it, like that. So maybe that will help.
Yeah, in the end, be violent, be dangerous, be a bad man, but have it under control.
No, why?
Be a good person, and being happy the choice. Don't what?
Abuse the power.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, exactly. Don't abuse the power.
Good.
And that's it. Have a good day. Eat some cookies.
Are you
And
gonna eat cookies?
no. I'm not gonna eat cookies. I'm telling them to eat cookies. Yeah, we're cutting. Thank you for listening. If you're listening, I don't know if anybody's gonna listen to this. 1 hour 8 minutes 29 seconds long.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Probably, not probably, definitely my longest podcast. Had a great time. I mean, we could do this for 2 more hours, but we are getting late, so
We haven't had breakfast, proper breakfast.
yeah, proper breakfast. So it's okay. Thank you for listening. Tada.